yours truly, most valuable trapper, Cam. Who we got here with us today?
I'm Caleb. A lot of people know me as Key.313 official. You know what I'm saying? But I'm simply just Caleb.
Great. What brings you here today, man? What you want to talk to us about?
Really just wanted to exchange value, have a conversation, you know what I'm saying? Just shed light on certain things, certain perspectives, and just get people to open up their mind about various things when it comes to personal development, when it comes to financial literacy, when it comes to depression, black love, you know what I'm saying? And like how we view each other as a people, understanding who our enemy actually is.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And where you at mentally, if you don't mind me asking? How you feeling?
Mentally, I say I'm not where I was, you know, and I really feel like I'm at the beginning of my journey, which is just a higher level than where I was at before. But you know, it's very broad, you know what I'm saying. But I'm still humbled enough to understand it's way more work that I got to do. I'm just scratching the surface.
And where you coming from?
Far as like where, what you mean?
On your mental health side, you said you're not where you was.
Yeah. So I had actually lost my sanity. I was admitted in a hospital for about like 6 to 7 months, and you know, I was diagnosed with bipolar, schizophrenia, severe depression, and suicidal. And so they wouldn't let me leave the hospital because they was saying that I was gonna harm myself. And so I was like hallucinating, and I was just didn't have control over the things that I usually would.
Okay. How old are you, bro? If you don't mind sharing.
I'm 27.
27. And how long ago was this when it happened?
This is roughly about it's like 3 years going on 4.
Okay, 3-4 years ago. And talk to us about the journey, you know, of recovering, getting back to, or creating this new you. Because would you say you are a new person, or would you say you perfected or critiqued the man that you was?
Definitely didn't perfect, but I'm definitely a new person.
For sure.
Definitely. And so, you know, for me, it started with God, if I'm being completely honest. And it's wild when I talk about it, because I always think, you know, how like I read certain scriptures that I knew from just growing up in church, and I used to hear stuff that just stuck with me, like lean not to your own understanding. And so, you know, it's like sometimes people have a surety of God to where like they don't want to examine themselves or to open up the ideal of possibly being wrong in their faith or being right with some things but doing the majority of things wrong, to where it's kind of like you got to shift a lifestyle or your level of understanding to a higher place. And so you know, because I just understand like God was literally using me, you know what I'm saying, or showing me things that I felt like, you know, he really wasn't, I didn't feel worthy in the moment to be like, you know, I'm like, dang, like why he, looking back on it, I'm like, dang, why he showed me this, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't anybody that came and sat me down and opened up the Bible and started showing me scripture or, you know, enlightened me about certain things. So it was just a blessing in itself to know, like, okay, like he was with me.
Right. I find myself doing that too a lot, you know, not more questioning myself or why me, but realizing like the whole time when I felt alone, he was there, you know, and then I wasn't alone. A lot of things was signs instead of me thinking it was lessons. You know, like me bumping my head, it really wasn't me really bumping my head. It was me just not seeing the message clearly. You know, going through the motions of catching it from a different perspective, if that makes sense.
It do.
Because sometimes you look at things one way and one way only, and then not questioning yourself, but questioning why. You know, why not me, but why this? Because of course it's you. You're not looking at nobody else's life and saying why them.
Right.
But, you know, going through the motions and then really seeing that you wasn't alone the whole time, and it was a reason.
Mm.
You know, if you don't mind, what you think the reasoning of you going through that stuff was?
So,
You said he was using you. Using you for what? What was the purpose?
well, before I would say he was using me. So actually, if I could, I want to take that back. I don't think he was using me. I think he was showing me things,
Mm-hmm.
and he was allowing, because he gave us free will. So I feel like he was allowing me to make decisions that was affecting me, whether they were good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so like once I was making decisions, I used to blame God, or I used to be mad, like, you know what I'm saying? You say you love me, you say you got me, you gonna do this, but you letting this happen to me, you know what I'm saying? And I just kept blaming.
Mm.
And so once I got into my word a little bit more with my spiritual leaders, I just started realizing, like, dang, like, you know, he gave us free will, and really, in God's perspective, it's only two ways to live your life. Either you with God or you against God, whether you know it or not. And so it's like, you know, it get to a point to where you got to understand your actions is what dictate the outcome of the majority, or really all of your situations.
Mm.
And so I had to blame myself, and that's when I started understanding the importance of taking accountability.
Okay.
And the ability not to blame anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but to blame myself, to be a better person, and not so much even to blame, but to analyze myself and be like, what did I do wrong? How can I learn from it? Because like I understand to do the same thing repeatedly and to expect a different result is literally the definition of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's a lot of people who do that in various avenues of their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't really realize that they are cancer to themselves, but because they so ignorant,
Mm-hmm.
the lack of not knowing the actions that they doing that's gonna produce the outcome, you know, they can't see where they going wrong, and they doing it so confidently.
Mm. Elaborate on that, man.
So
Give me an example, if you don't mind.
So for me, you know, it's like before I got into where I was now, you know, I had just had my first kid, my only kid, in 2021.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. And so I had to analyze myself through the Bible, and was looking like how God he tell us like not to fornicate. You know, he said like if you are to have sex with a wife, if you are to have sex with a woman, you are to take that woman to be your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And provide for her and love her and stay with her. And you know, and so then there was even other things like how to keep your body as a temple. You know, like we all view church as going to a building, but you know, your body as a temple is the church, because
Right.
God, the Spirit of God, dwells within the people. So that's why it's so important not to harm or commit sin or to smoke or to do anything that harm your temple, because the minute you do something, the Spirit of God gonna leave, because he can't dwell there no more. And so, you know, people don't realize that through their actions or the self-hatred that they do to themselves, you literally push God away out of your life, you know. And so, you know, that's really more so what I was getting at when I was saying like having to learn from my past actions, because all of those things that I just talked about is basically what led me to now having a baby mama, now being married. And it was kind of like my intentions was in the right place, but my actions wasn't aligning with my intentions.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted good things to come, but I was doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to understand, like how the words say, everything must be done in decency and in order. You know, and I wasn't doing things in the right order and able to have the life that I was thinking that I wanted.
Yeah, so when you just said that, the life that you was thinking that you wanted, were you in a place where you thought that you wanted something and you got to a place where you realized that that wasn't the life that you wanted? You was confused?
I got there and I wanted it. Like for example, when I got my daughter's mother pregnant, we had got into our own place, and we was happy. You know what I'm saying? We was with each other every day. It was cool. It was good. We was family. And then it got to a point to where I wasn't able to provide in that area as much as I wanted to outside of paying bills. So I wasn't able to get her hair done, get her nails done, do the extra things that made everything conducive for the household, go on dates, you know what I'm saying? So like I realized that it's not what I wanted. It's just that I wasn't the person who I needed to be to sustain it and then to grow it. And because of the lack of solutions that I had in the moment for the where I was, I couldn't figure out how to fix the situation.
So when you say that, you got where you felt you wanted to be, and then when you got there, it really wasn't what you expected it to be.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for it.
You wasn't prepared. The life you wanted, you got it, and you wasn't prepared for it to sustain it, to maintain it, I should say.
Facts.
What changes did you make, or what was it that changed, and that wasn't the situation anymore? Are you still with her? Are y'all still in the household? If you don't mind sharing.
No, I like to be open because God do everything for a reason. But no, we're not together no more.
Okay.
The communication is shaky. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. And I feel like we growing, but we not growing as fast as I would like us to.
Okay.
And so that's the part where it's kind of like having to have patience to understand like everybody not gonna grow at the same level as me.
Right. I had that problem too. I was in a lot of situations around people that I wanted to bring with me, and I looked and I was growing at a fast rate. Like I'm maturing, I'm grasping things that they not grasping. I wanted to take them with me, but in order to bring them with me, they needed to be on the same level I was on. They needed to be learning the things that I was learning, or at least in a situation where I could teach them. And these people wasn't teachable, Then they didn't believe in the end goal. I was under the impression that we was a team. We was doing this together. I got us. And the reality of it was they was, clapping from the sideline. I'm in the game. I'm playing.
Right.
They wasn't playing with me.
Right.
I'm going to throw them the pass. They ain't even in the game.
Right.
And I wasn't there. I wasn't there mentally. I didn't have that all the way thought through. And then with that being the case, I was building on a foundation that was really imaginary, if that makes sense. I'm thinking that we there together and we doing this together the whole time. It's me by myself.
I get what you're saying. I was there too. I was seeing it for what I wanted it to be and wasn't seeing it for what it was, the reality of the situation.
I had just said this like a month and a half ago. And I don't really, I post on the media and stuff, but I really try and stay away from the just posting. I try and post stuff that means something. And my last probably meaningful post was, I finally see this shit for what it is. Because I really felt like I really started seeing things for what it was. And I was around people and I'm thinking we, on the same team, wearing the same jersey. And in reality, a lot of people was just watching, supporting from a distance. I'm thinking you about to get your hands dirty and build with me. They watching the house go up. The house gonna get built regardless.
Yeah.
But me thinking that I had them extra hands to build it was where I went wrong. And I found myself back to the drawing board. I had to come up with not a different plan. No, I had to come up with a different plan. The goal was the same, but the plan had to change because the support and the team that I thought I had wasn't there. And that was why I had made the post. Like, I finally see this shit for what it is. And I've been in a place too where I was, like you said, I thought that I wanted this. And when I actually got it, it wasn't that it was hard for me to maintain. It just wasn't what I thought it was. All the way around, through and through. Like, it looked good from the outside. And then when I actually got inside, I was like, yeah, this ain't it.
But see, that's beautiful in itself because if God would have showed you through a vision or a dream that you was gonna get exactly what you wanted, but He would have exposed to you that it would have came with this, and this, would you have still wanted that same dream?
That's a great question.
Would you still even have took those experiences that molded you, that stick with you now, that cultivate how you move and how you think?
That's a great question. That's a great question. If you would have told me that it came with this, I'm a gambler. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them people that once I get there, I'm here. You know. But I don't know. I think the preview would have deviated me from the plan. Just me keeping it a buck with you. Cause I would have thought myself out of it. I would have, oh well, what about this and if this and sometimes that be the best, like you said, it be the beauty in it. And I can't sit here and tell you that I would have went through with it, knowing what came with it.
And for me, I don't really have like I had a good childhood. Like my mom is like one of the greatest, most educated, you know what I'm saying, women that I know in my life. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he been in my life my whole life, but he wasn't there physically as much as I needed him to be. But as far as like morals, responsibility, understanding how to be a man's man, and just having integrity, he instilled that into me as a young age to where it was like, now looking back on it, I really probably didn't need him as much as I thought I did.
Right.
It was probably more so just for like the other areas, like the mental, emotional, the, you know what I'm saying, the memories, stuff like that, seeing my other siblings and
100%.
you know, but I appreciate everything for what it was, because for me growing up, not really having a lot of good accolades, like I struggled in school.
Okay.
I'm the middle child, always was in trouble.
Okay.
To the point where like my aunties, all my brothers and cousins would go over each other's house, and my auntie, she'd be like, yeah, everybody can come, but
Caleb ain't come. That's funny you say that, because I was that cousin. Cam can't come. He gonna break the toys.
Yeah.
He gonna have everybody fight. He gonna grab and be fighting on everybody and.
Yeah, even like
Cam at home.
Even that, like when I was younger, I used to be real angry. Like when I used to go to school, I used to fight. Like I used to be ready. I used to walk in school. My mindset was so terrible. I used to walk in class and just look at all the fellas in the class and be like, I'm gonna have to fight him. I'm probably gonna have to fight him. I know I'm gonna have to fight him. Just how he looking at me.
Right.
Every time I come in class in the morning, them three always laughing. I'm probably gonna have to fight all three of them at the same time. And I just used to be projecting negativity, not even knowing that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even probably thinking about me.
100%.
But I'm so messed up in my own head. I'm so insecure.
Yeah.
That I'm walking around like, all right, I'm ready to attack anybody that look like they want to be a threat. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of hindered me from building good relationships and you know what I'm saying, having substantial friendships for real.
And then it's crazy, like being young. It's like the people that you swear up and down hate you and you gonna have a problem with end up always being the people who be cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Most supportive, and then to be the people that you was banking on be the ones that be the slime balls.
But at the same time, it's different from when I grew up. Well, you probably know this too. How old are you?
I'm 30.
You 30, so I'm 27. So we around that same time. You was probably, when I was a freshman, you was a junior. So, but like I know you probably can attest to this too a little bit. Like when I went to school, when I would fight certain people, we usually like make up and get cool after the school days, school weeks to get long. Even if we fought 2, 3, 4, 5 times. After that, once we was done, it's like, all right, we done done a fight and we can do. We'd be cool, or even if we wasn't cool, it was just a respect level. Like we straight, we ain't got no more beef. You know what I'm saying? Like it's understood that we straight. We already did that.
I don't know, bro. I might be in the other side of the generation. I might be a little bit on the other side. Not even a little bit on the other side. I know for sure I am. Man. I'm that generation. Once it's up, it's stuck. It ain't never gonna be that. And if it do get to that point, very seldom. Very, very seldom. Where the mindset most of us was having, it's over with. Once it, and then like I don't know about you, but it seemed like this generation now, once it hit the internet, it's over with.
Yeah, Yeah.
But a lot of times you do find these same people that was going back and forth and beefing and stuff like that, they end up coming around, but it take a long time. I think that's one of our biggest downfalls in the human race, period. Is thinking that we got time.
Facts.
Like that moment.
My man, Coach Quail. Shout out to Quail. He was just saying this at an event he was able to speak at. We had an event at Wayne State, and he said procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time to get it done.
One more time.
Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time to get it done.
Yes. 100%. I found myself really struggling with procrastination and like being spoiled. You know, I know I'm anointed. I know God got his hands on me. I know I'm one of them ones. And I found that I was taking it for granted for a long time. Like a lot of times too, in a lot of different situations, you know, just really doing and acting in a way, knowing that he was gonna be there, knowing that he was gonna make sure it don't hit me the worst way, you know. And a lot of situations I wasn't supposed to. I ain't gonna say I wasn't supposed to see it out, because I did, and that was his plan. So I was supposed to. But anybody else probably wouldn't. And then I've seen a lot of people do things that I do and not make it out, not make it with the same success stories or even with the same lessons. I watched a lot of people like lose their life living the same exact way that I was living, doing the same exact things that I was doing. And I had to just find a lot of not only grace, but like a lot of gratitude. Like I had to really be thankful. I had to really understand that along with being anointed and being touched and being blessed, like you really gotta find appreciation and show it for real, because it'll get took. You know what I'm saying? He could easily lift that hand right up off you, and then it'd be brick wall after brick wall, no help me. You know what I'm saying? And after I realized those things, I had started conducting myself in a different manner, bro. Like in real time, and then start using that that anointing in a better way. Start putting myself in different situations. Instead of something that might cost me my life, it might just cost me a couple thousand. You know what I'm saying? Then really just risking my life in different scenarios and situations. The gamble not really gonna cost me my life. It might just cost me a little bit of time, a little bit of cash, but a lesson that's worth learning. You know what I'm saying? And that I can actually learn from. Because once you gone, you gone. Ain't nobody coming and waving over top of you like, I told you not to play with me. And you can't hear it if they did anyway. So
I like to tell people when I'm telling them about like so when I'm talking to people about what I do in the entrepreneurial field, I like to tell people that's in the streets or that can relate to risking their freedom for money, to switch the mindset to go from risking your money for freedom. I mean, go from risking your freedom for money to start risking your money for freedom. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a mindset. And so like I like to tell people, the person who says I can and the person who says I can't is both correct. The only difference is their perspective.
100%.
And like my mama is a real testament of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when she was growing up, you know, that's back when crack and all that stuff was real hard in the neighborhoods where she was from. And so, you know, like my grandparents, they was drug abusers when she was young. And so she was the only kid. Then they had my uncle. So my mom had to raise herself and raise my uncle. And so, you know, she got a master's degree, you know, in mental health counseling. She got like almost 10, 15 years in social work, working for Child Protective Services.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
Shout out to mom.
yeah, she God fearing, and you know, she just could have been one of them people who was like, you know, my parents are on drugs, so this is why I became a drug addict, and this is why I couldn't make it, and blah blah blah. But she was like, no, my parents on drugs, so this why I gotta go hard. This why I gotta make this happen. This why I gotta go to school. So I, you know, my motto now that I've been working on my whiteboard is, you know, don't let the reasons why you can't do something be the reason why you don't do it. Let that be the reason why you need to get it done.
One more time.
Don't let the reasons why you can't do something be the reason why you don't do it.
Okay.
Let that be the reason why you need to get it done.
Okay. I like that. What's your if you don't mind, think and then think hard on it. What's the most powerful thing you put on your whiteboard? If not that.
The most powerful thing I put on my whiteboard is wake up and pray. And then after I write wake up and pray 3 times a day, and then I tell myself read four chapters in the Bible, and then I tell myself don't run from the work.
A lot of niggas run from the work, bro.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of niggas run from the work, and then the work can be a lot of different things too. You know, working on yourself. I just was telling somebody that right now I'm in a place where I'm really working on me. You know, I got the hammer, the nails, the wrench. You know, I'm really putting the work in on me. Because if I don't work, ain't none of this shit gonna work. And I got my hands in a lot. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your, like, my question for myself that I would tell you, or that I would suggest that you ask yourself would be, like, what's your end goal or your vision when you're working on yourself?
One of my closest friends told me this. He had said, keep striving for the person you want to be in 5 years. The person that you see, just keep striving for that. Because me, I don't know about you, but I reach goals, you know what I'm saying? I achieve them pretty fast. You know, so I be the set one and then it's done almost before I know it. And the ones that's taking the extra long time, I don't want it bad enough. That's the real truth. Because if I want it, I'm gonna get it. Like, it's not nothing that's gonna stop me.
I'm kind of the opposite. I kind of set structure for myself, so I know the work that I need to do to get to where I'm going. But I'm more so the type of person that's like, I can't look at the clock. I can't look at the, like, I need to know the goal, but like, I gotta just keep working. I can't check and see how long I've been doing it for, because that might just be what discouraged me, to be like, damn, I only been doing it for, it felt like I've been doing it for 30 minutes. I've been here for 5.
Low key. And then to answer your question, the man that I want to be, the man that I see myself being, I can't never tell myself, even though I know that I'm him now. You know what I'm saying? I can't give myself that satisfaction and say that I'm there. Because once I feel like I am there, it'll be when I start to slack off. It'll be when I start to get lazy. It'll be when I start to feel like it's no more work to be done. But in reality, I'm never gonna be perfect. I'm always gonna have something to work on. You know, I'm already that guy. But when I tell myself that I'm that guy, that's when I stop working. So I gotta keep working.
So for me, when I figured out who I wanted to become, I feel that where it's like, you know,
the end goal, like
you don't want to feel like you a finished product, because anything that's not growing is dying, literally. Even if you look into science with it, anything that is not growing is dying, literally. You know, and so for me, it's like, I view my progress as like a tree. Like when you plant a seed in the ground and the tree start to form, before you see anything come out the ground, the roots is under the dirt, but nobody see the roots getting big and strong. You know what I'm saying? Then when the tree trunk come up, you see a little bitty tree trunk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
On the flip side.
But on the flip side, you can't even pull that out the ground no more at this point.
Come on, man.
No matter how small the progress look.
For sure.
And so that's kind of how I view my journey, and it's more so like, you know, nobody hear a tree grow, or nobody sit there for 10 years and watch the tree grow.
20.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like people gonna get tired of trying to watch your progress when it's so little.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? Especially when they looking at you from the lens of who you used to be versus who you trying to become. And a lot of my progress had came in like isolation when nobody was around.
For sure.
So it was like I left off with a distasteful taste in everybody's mouth with my personality, my attitude, how I was, my arrogance, conceitedness, you know what I'm saying? Bully mentality, thinking I was better than everybody.
Mhm.
And then it's like now I come back around with a different energy, a different mindset, and people looking at it like, is he faking it or is this
really him? And that was a good statement. Who are you?
I'm just Caleb. I'm a child of God, just striving for righteousness. And that's more so what I focus on. So I don't really even look at who I want to be in the next 4 to 5 years. I more so look at how far am I getting away from the person who I used to be in all the negative areas, while still keeping the positive things that I used to do, without changing how I love people based off how they love me.
Say that last part again.
I try to focus on how far I'm getting away from the negative things who I used to be, while keeping the positive things that I've always done, while still not changing how I love people based off how they love me.
And loving people based on how they love you. Elaborate on that. Is that how you love?
That is how I love.
When you say that, so you only love people that love you?
I got people who I love who don't love me till this day, or they think they love me, but they don't love me according to how I needed to be loved. And so in the essence, they really don't love me because they only love me selfishly for what they think is correct.
For sure.
But they never stopped and asked me, how should I love you? How do you need to be loved?
Facts. How you keep going after that? With knowing that you being loved improperly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not loving me the way I want to be loved, but in your head, you love me. So how do you go from there and then continuing to love? Like, are you teaching or attempting to teach and say, hey, I don't like this, you know, I want you to do this, this will work better for me, or are you just accepting it and then still loving?
Definitely not accepting it. I'm more so I try to let them know. I try to talk to them and have a conversation to where they can understand where I'm coming from. But I'm more so like the way that people don't love me. I had to realize I had to start doing that for myself first. And so I changed the perspective. So I started trying to do the things that I want other people to do for me. I do for myself, and then I try to do it for them first. So now I have an olive branch where I can be like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might ask them, even though I want to tell them, yo, you're not loving me correctly. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I check myself and be like, am I loving you correctly? How do you need to be loved?
Before you go in and you set the tone, you want to make sure you're doing it correctly. So when you do go and address the issue, it's not one of those, oh, well, you doing this and you doing me. And yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So before going and correcting the problem, you want to correct yourself to make sure you're not the problem. Because a lot of times, we don't like to say it, but we are the problem. And then, do you find yourself having a hard time setting boundaries, or, you know, holding yourself to a certain standard and not accepting any type of love? Was that an issue for you?
Before I was how I am today, like back before I lost my sanity, yeah, that was a problem for me. I used to have like unsaid expectations that I would want people to do or love me based on, because like my family is real small and intimate. I got 5 family members, and then really I got 6, but my grandma passed away, so I got 5 now.
Sorry to hear that.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I used to, like, a lot of my family are adopted people that, like, my mom's homegirls that she grew up with, and grew up around all of their kids. And so it's like we cousins and aunties, but really they're not my family. But they are in a way.
100%.
And so it's like, you know, I would expect or want certain things from them. You know, even from my mom and my dad, my brothers and my sisters, and it just got to a certain place to where I was just kind of like, I probably ain't gonna never get it. And so that's why I found the importance to start trying to do it for myself. And I feel like when I was younger, I used to always dream about like having my own family, running away and having a nice house and, you know what I'm saying, just not even associating with my family when I was a kid. Like that's how messed up my mentality was. Even though I wanted good things, it was like the way that I wanted to go about it was like kind of shitting on everybody and just like isolating them out. But, you know, I had to realize, like looking at hindsight, you know, the way God been dealing with me is maybe the reason I'm going through everything I'm going through was, you know, for God to show me, for me to be able to self-reflect on those things so I can be a light in the darkness.
100%.
And so, you know, like a lot of people now, they say they want to be a light or an influence, but it's easy to be an influence around influencers or people who agree with you.
Yeah.
It's hard to have that love or to have that influence around people who don't believe in nothing you talking about or nothing you got going on. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to actually be that light in the darkness when you the only light and your light don't go that far. But everybody that's close to you will see your light.
Okay. Do you surround yourself with a lot of enablers?
Nah, I don't.
You don't do the yes man.
Mm-mm.
You find yourself being the person that's not at the bottom of the totem pole, but
That's how I like it. I like being at the bottom because just because I'm at the bottom of my totem pole don't mean I'm at the bottom of the person sitting next to me.
100%.
So the people that's around me, they can't enable me because all they know is to bring me up to where they at. And they gonna see the flaws in what I'm doing to correct me, to elevate me versus being like, if we all on the same level, you gonna feel comfortable in just letting me do what I do because we doing the same shit.
For sure. I had trouble with that for a while, and that's kind of why I started reaching out, you know. And when we initially had first link, started talking, the person that you know we know mutually, that was one of the first people that actually challenged me in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't been around people that was, you know, taking my brain to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or that I even was able to have intellectual conversations with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was one of the only people that I was able to connect with and go further with. A lot of these conversations and a lot of people I was speaking to, I was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I got tired of that. You get tired of being the light.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a light.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't finding it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting frustrated in life because of that. And I didn't know that was where my frustrations was coming from. I'm like, man, I'm not getting it. Like, I'm supposed to be further. I'm supposed to be, and I was running from the work, not knowing I was running from the work. You know, I got a lot to be doing. I had a lot of soul searching to be doing. I had a lot of research to be doing. And I had a lot of things that I needed to figure out. I didn't have a plan for a while. You know, and then when I did get a plan, I was like, wow, I don't know nobody that's doing what I'm trying to do. So going out and finding those people, and then like you said, being at the bottom of the totem pole. Sometimes that's an uncomfortable situation when you confident, arrogant, things been going your way for a while and it's been working, you know.
Like built up pride.
Man, you know, they say that's the silent killer of a black man. The pride. That's what take us out, you know. You'll be next to a man that can really take you where you need to be, but you just don't want to ride with him. You don't want to ride passenger side. You don't want to be the scrub. And I think that's something big that I struggled with for a while.
Same.
And then when I stripped myself of that pride, you know, and I told myself, like, you know, you ain't gonna get there unless you learn. You ain't gonna get there unless you submit.
And that's actually how I came up with my handle. You know what I'm saying? With KEY. You know, KEY actually stands an acronym for keep educating yourself. And so I use it in various ways. So like when I'm in my spiritual walk, it's keep educating yourself because nobody is coming to save you but Jesus. When I'm in the world, So when I'm in my spiritual walk, is keep educating yourself because nobody is coming to save you but Jesus.
Okay.
And then when I'm in my I don't want to say my worldly walk, but when I'm out in the world and I'm trying to get money and I'm flowing, you know what I'm saying, and I have mentors in my financial literacy areas,
Okay.
it's more so like keep educating yourself because you don't know what you don't know, just to remind me to stay humble. You know,
One more time.
Keep educating yourself because you don't know what you don't know.
Okay. And you don't know what you don't know. Elaborate on that.
So it's like, so I realized when my brother Marquise had put me hip to being able to like trade in the foreign exchange market.
Okay.
Before he introduced me to it, I didn't know that existed. So I would have never been able to catch myself even in the next, if he would have never said that in 2021, today, if I wouldn't have seen it or got exposed to it by the internet or somebody else, I would have never knew to think about getting started to learn about financial literacy in the foreign exchange market, that I can multiply my current stream of income or money from my cell phone or a laptop.
Okay. I like that. I like that you brought that up too. If you don't mind, tell me a little bit about the foreign exchange market and what you do when it comes to trading. You said making money off the phone and the laptop. Does that sound like something everybody want to do?
Yeah.
And then you said multiplying your income. Everybody want to do that.
And so basically the foreign exchange market is a $7.6 trillion market that's growing continuously. So this is basically a world market where every country has their own currency, what they call a dollar. And so inside of this market, the currencies are versus each other. So it'd be like the United States dollar versus the Canadian dollar.
Okay.
And so as the strength of the US dollar is going up, the Canadian dollar is going down.
Wow.
So that means banks are basically putting their money against each other, saying when the value of it goes up or down, depending on who's putting the most money in the market on that currency pair on each side, is the people who are influencing the market to go a specific way.
Okay.
Based on the value of that currency.
What's your favorite?
I'm unbiased. I like whichever one is going in the direction I know it's going. I don't care for none of them. As long as I see it and I see, okay, this one going down, or okay, this one going up, because you can make money both ways.
For sure.
You can make money selling or buying. So once I see that I can visually understand if it's selling or buying, I like whichever one gonna make me the money the most.
Whatever one making the money. I like that. And do you got a pair that you study like on a continuous basis? I understand what you said though, whatever one make the money, but like one that you keep your eye on.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm more so into like indices.
Indices.
Yeah, so indices is they move faster. They're the volume of them are bigger than forex pairs or the country currency pairs. So the indices, they move faster.
Okay.
So you can make more money faster at a bigger money at a faster rate.
Yeah.
And so like I like to look at XPX 500, NAS 100.
Yeah.
I like to look at US 30, and then I also trade metals. I like trading gold a lot.
Okay.
Gold also move fast.
I like gold, and I like the SPX. And NAS is what I had initially learned. You know, that was what I was introduced to trading with, was NAS.
And one last thing about XPX, NAS 100, and US 30, one thing I learned early is that depending on your account size balance, you can't trade US 30 because that's like the cream of the crop. Because it's so valuable, the value is so high and it's so volatile that one slight movement will take your whole account if you don't have enough money in your balance to sustain the movement in it. But XPX is like the baby of US 30. So XPX, it go XPX and then it go NAS 100 and then US 30. They all move in the same direction. So what I started doing was I started trading XPX because I'm thinking in my head like, okay, if they all move in the same direction, I'm gonna trade XPX because it's cheaper, but the money is still faster than the forex pairs.
Exactly.
So now when I compound my account, I'm gonna start trading US 30, and then I'm gonna be making crazy money.
When you say compound your account, elaborate on that for the people that don't know.
So compounding is basically taking wins, percentages of wins in your account to grow it over time versus trying to win $1,000,000 in a day.
100%.
I'm just looking to grow my account 10% a day.
And what would you say a good number to start funding your account? Like, where would you start at if you was just now getting in with the knowledge that you have?
Me personally, I feel like it's everybody's personal decision because I don't look at how much are you willing to start your account with to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it from a different lens, like how much money are you willing to lose to get the results you desire.
What results was it that you was desiring?
When I first,
what's your goal?
Right now, my goal is I don't even trade consistently no more. If I'm being 100% honest.
Why not?
Because I'm more so in a mentor leader role now. So I have a team. So when I do trade, I trade with my team or I'm looking for setups for my team.
Okay.
So I trade when I need to. I trade periodically, but I like to kind of be alone and just focus with no pressure. You know what I'm saying? So like when I'm looking at trades, like I will trade, but I would say I would start my account like realistically with like $1,000.
That's a good number for you.
For me personally, yeah.
That's the way you like to play.
Yeah, but if I was talking to somebody who had no experience, no knowledge, and they was looking to get in the market, I would tell them put $100 in your account.
And how do you go about withdrawing when you making money? What is it? What's your system for pulling out your profit and then still maintaining the account?
So for me,
well, being that you are in the situation that you in, what would you tell me if you were mentoring me?
Okay, so I would tell you we would look at your account from a percentage. So if you was to start your account with $100, we would only trade 10% of your account. So we would be trading $10 out of your $100 to make money. So we would place $10 on a trade, but when you make profit from that trade can be, it depends on how far the market goes in distance.
Okay.
So like I said, it's a $7.6 trillion market.
Right.
So depending on how far it go, you can get into a trade with $10, you can make 20, 50. That trade can go as far as 100, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000. It just depends on how far the market actually goes in your desired direction.
For sure.
And so, so once your account balance will go from 100 to 200, I would just simply tell you to take out so 200. So you didn't double your account. I would tell you you could either take out $50 or take out 100, take out your initial investment, and so now you're gonna have $100 in your account, but you got $100 in your pocket.
Okay.
And so now the mindset that I would tell them is that the money that's inside of your trading account is free pros. We made that from the market. Now we playing with house money.
Okay.
And you got your investment back, so you didn't lose nothing.
House money. Use that. Tell me about that. When you use that term, what do that mean?
So we playing with the money that you made from the market.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
So the money that you worked for, you done went to work, you took $100 from your check and put it in your trading account. We flipped it to 200. Now withdraw that 100 and put your 100 back in your pocket, and now trade with the money that we got in the market. That's free money. So really, it was never yours.
Okay, I get that.
But a lot of people, it's hard for them to grasp that because they have the concept of that's my 100.
Yeah.
Both of those, that's my 200. Versus it's like, nah, you worked for that $100 bill and you didn't know the skills to really make yourself the money. The association and being a part of the investment group in my team, we helped you to double the account to 100. So now, you know what I'm saying? But and that's where, you know what I'm saying, they just tie into everything because like the market will expose you mentally and emotionally.
Explain.
It'll expose you if you're too greedy. It'll expose you if you're too anxious.
Okay.
It'll expose you if you don't have patience.
Okay.
And it'll expose you if you keep doing the same things repeatedly, expecting a different result, losing all your money.
I like that. I like that a lot. I got some questions for you, man. I had drew them up just by, the conversations that we had beforehand. Just realizing you're not just a regular You're not your average Joe. You ain't going and clocking in, okay? Advice that you would have for somebody that was starting to get in the industry that you in, other than the finance side, just mental wise. What would you tell somebody that was looking to get into the market?
That was looking to get in the foreign exchange market?
Exactly.
I would tell them find mentors, do it with a group. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
And who was your mentor?
My mentor was my brother Kavan, Marquise, it's my other brother, and then they had mentors, and I started looking up people on YouTube. I have people inside of the investment group that I had partnered with, which is called Iovia now.
Okay.
And so they had educators that I was able to learn from, and then but I'm not gonna lie, my biggest mentor was really myself. Because no matter how much they giving me the answers and showing me what to do, I gotta do the work. I gotta learn to hold myself accountable and to realize when I'm messing up and making the mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And so, and also I had to be the person to lose the money to learn. And a lot of people not gonna be willing to, like I was losing. I started trading in 2019. I had wins, but when you look at the ratio of your account versus how much profit you've made over the years versus how much you've lost over the years, if that number outweigh, you know what I'm saying? You got to just be real with yourself. Like, I'm not a master trader.
Okay.
So I'm nowhere far from a master trader. But recently, I've been trading pretty consistently. You know, to the point to where it's like I don't have to work a job. Like I look at money totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like I still cut grass. You know what I'm saying? Shovel snow, rake leaves. I even get a temp job. I still hustle. I still get a job, knowing that it's more temporary. But like when I come up on $50, $100. I look to put it in my trading account to multiply it versus being like, you know what I'm saying, I got to work this job for 2-3 years because I'm trying to sustain myself.
Okay. How many accounts you would say you had and blown?
I ain't gonna lie, I still blow accounts today just with a lack of discipline, but it's very more, it's not like how it was when I first started.
Explain.
So when I first started, I used to just straight lose my money. Like I would just be simply getting in the trade thinking it's gonna buy and it sell and my money gone. Now the process is more like I take $13 to $1,000, and then I might withdraw a couple hundred, and then I might try to go to 2,000 and blow the account from over leveraging.
Over leveraging.
Yeah. So basically, when your account balance is at a certain level or at a certain balance, like say like if I got $100 in my account and I'm risking more than half of my account on a trade, 50% of my account, that's over leveraging.
Okay.
Because now if that trade goes in the opposite direction, I'm starting out with 50% of my account. So now as it goes down from my entry level, it's gonna be way easier to blow the account because I'm putting more than what I really have to risk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say if somebody was to start with $100, I tell them to just do 10% and take $10 trades and compound it over time. So that was the growth factor that I had to learn with not treating it like gambling or a casino.
Yeah. And
start getting more strategic, more intentional with understanding the percentage game.
A lot of people say that, you know, that they not to get the same rush, but they compare trading to the casino, FanDuel, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. How do you separate the two?
I respect it and I study. So when you gamble and you lose, there's no way for you to go look at that loss and be like, dang, what could I have done better?
Okay.
When I lose my money in the market, I can go back and look at the history of the market and look at why I lost that trade. What was I thinking? What was I thinking it was gonna do? And then now I look at it, what did it actually do? And so then let me go back in history, because history repeats itself on the chart. And I can look at it and say, okay, I didn't see that double top. I didn't see that the sellers was making all of these wicks and was pushing it down, and so this is why it started to buy. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to understand in the market, what goes up must comes down. So the market is always selling and buying, but it'll be an overall trend when you go to a higher time frame to where you will see it like stairs. It'll either go up
Yeah.
or it'll be coming down like stairs.
Okay.
And so, I started to learn from my losses, and I wouldn't get into another trade until I could understand what I was doing wrong. Then to confirm what I was thinking, I would get my brother Kavan, and I had him look and see if he see what I see.
Okay.
And then I would go on YouTube and I would learn from other people who live in a lifestyle that I desire with the results that I desire, who were successful traders, and I would look at what they looking at to see, okay, what I'm thinking and from what I'm saying makes sense, and they saying the same thing. Now it's just about applying it.
I like that. And then you said looking at other YouTubers and people that live the life that you desire to live and learning from them. Who are some of your favorite people to learn from in this field?
It's a dude, I can't remember his name right now. I can't believe I can't remember his name. But he started in the same company, and he took off. But I haven't looked at his page in a minute because
you say the same company. He was in Iova.
He was in Iovia back in before 2021.
Iovia, is that the same as I Am Academy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they basically just rebranded, and so Christopher Terry, he started I Am Academy, which was the original in America, and then they was trying to sue him because he was basically giving people knowledge, wealthy knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So it's people that's looking at what he doing and was like, yo, you creating too many millennial 6-figure, 7-figure earners residually, and showing them how to get passive income, and taking them away from working jobs, and you pouring into their mindset. You gotta be stopped. You know what I'm saying? And so, and the beautiful thing is, he went through it. He paid for the lawyers. He's never been sued. The company, he's been sued, but he's never lost.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The company has never been shut down because of a lawsuit.
Okay.
So what he did was he just moved strategic, and he restarted the company in Dubai, where it's less legal restrictions. And so then he rebranded it to Iovia, so it can have more of like a fresh start.
I like that you say that fresh start, because I found myself, talking to a lot of people that's in the group Iovia, and a lot of the people were people that were familiar with I Am Academy. It was a lot of people that was on I Am Academy. When I logged in on Iovia, I was looking for some of those same people that I seen on I Am Academy, and I didn't see a lot of them. Do you got any explanation or reasoning behind that?
Yeah, because we have educators and then we have builders.
And explain the two.
So the educators are people who have 6- and 7-figure resumes based on their stream of income that they're teaching inside of Iovia. So they submit their income to be able to be eligible to teach this information. And so they have to continually submit their income, to stay on the platform.
Okay.
And so then we have people like myself, like my brother Red_313 Marquise, where we go out and we basically spread this information and introduce people to the platform. So a lot of people that you see on social media talking about this platform, they're more so the introducers to the experience. They're not the person that's going to be teaching you. They're more so the person that's walking you to class, like your classroom best friend.
Yeah.
But we do have educators that do also build.
Okay.
But the people in the building world of the business, the bigger your social media and your influence is, the more people that's gonna see you. Even if you were 6-7-figure earner, if you only got 2,000 followers on Instagram.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
People really lost with it.
So are you a builder?
Yeah, I'm a builder.
Okay. How would you say your what would you rate your education? How strong is it?
I would rate my education. That's a good question. I never thought about that.
Because of course you do know that it's a great platform. It's a great place to be. It's a great environment, great atmosphere. It's a lot of opportunity in it. But where do you stand in it? other than, you know, like you said, walking people to class?
I feel like I would ask my investment group. I would ask my personal team of people, the people who I actually help make money, and you know what I'm saying. I would ask them what would they grade my trading, but you know, well, actually, if I go just based off my trading account, I have a 60% accuracy rate.
Okay.
When I'm taking trades, so that's actually in school we would look at that as a D, but in the trading world, that's actually good as hell.
Right. You above half.
Yeah.
And then in realistic time, this is not something that's guaranteed.
Facts.
You know, at any given time, the market can do anything.
Facts.
So you do know that, and going forward, still with 60%, that's damn good. Because a lot of people don't even see half.
Facts.
In real time. You know that firsthand. A lot of people ain't even 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And how long would you say it took you to get to the point where you was comfortable with it and everything that came with it? Like, all right, well, I'm jumping in this trade. It ain't no guarantee.
From day one.
Okay.
From day one. As soon as my brother told me you gonna be able to make money from your cell phone, you ain't gonna need that job, I was instantly turned on. My whole problem was just that I was ignorance on fire. And I wanted to win so bad and be indulged in a new environment with new people and feel something different that, you know, I didn't value the importance of structure and having a consistent income. So I had quit my job when I first started, and I started building a business. I had built up a residual income, and I started living and traveling off my residual income and putting that inside my trading account. So I was making residual income and passive income, but it still wasn't consistent enough to fund the lifestyle that I actually needed to take care of myself and have a daughter and have a family.
I just found myself having that conversation with one of my partners that I work with, and he said that to me. You know, he was like, man, you make enough money to do this, and I'm like, it's my life. For you to tell me that I make enough to do anything is absurd.
But I mean,
it's me.
I mean, if you really analyze it, there's probably some truth to that, because the difference from back then was that I didn't have the consistent income, and I had income coming in that wasn't consistent, but I had more residual bills than I had residual income.
Would you be okay with me telling you that you make enough money to live the life that you want to live?
I would switch it. If it wasn't you telling me that, if it was God telling me that, or God telling you that, would you be okay with it?
If God told me, of course I'm gonna be okay with it.
But
He giving me what I am. He giving me what I have. I wouldn't have it without him.
But what if you wanted more still?
If I wanted more still, that's me being greedy.
But what if you can be greedy without getting more? What if you start going with less?
That's insanity.
That's not.
That is.
So what I did with myself was,
because if God told you what you had was enough and you still wanted more, you obviously gonna go out and try and get it for sure. But if him being the maker telling you that it's enough, you gonna keep trying and you gonna get the same results.
But just because he told you it's enough, he never told you couldn't have more.
Lesson.
So it's not like people think that that money is the root of all evil.
What you think it is?
The word says the love of money is the root of all evil. So it's what you're willing to do, the sins and the breaking of God's laws and commandments that you're willing to go out and do to get the money.
Those risks you're willing to take.
Exactly.
For sure.
So for me, even if I didn't go and try to get more money, I would sacrifice. So I said I had more residual bills than I had residual income. So what I started doing was I started slimming down when I would go to the gym, when I would go to the grocery store and get all of the foods that I want.
Yeah.
I cut that tab in half to only get fruits, veggies, maybe 2 or 3 snacks that I actually want.
What's your diet like?
It's funny, I just actually wrote my diet out. So my diet is I actually got it in my phone, because I'm trying to implement it as best as I can. I'm not there yet with perfecting it, but I know what I'm striving towards.
Okay.
So I know I'm trying to be 60% fruits and veggies.
Uh-huh.
And then I want to be. I gotta look up. Let me go to it right quick. Yeah. So. Okay, so my diet is 60% fruits and veggies. I'm 30% whole grains, 10% lean protein, 10% healthy fats, and 10% supplements, amino acids, and yeah, that's my whole diet. So I do the percentages to total up to 100.
Okay, and then you say your 10% lean protein, and that's your meats, right?
Not just meats. I do nuts and seeds.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, I try to look for, yeah, so I do nuts and seeds. I still eat meat, but it's a lot of processed meat out here. So, I try to supplement different things that still get me the same end goal.
What about egg? How you feel about that?
I still eat the eggs, but not as much. So like with some things, I'm still trying to enhance my level of understanding with certain supplements. I mean, with certain substitutes for healthier versions of like how eggs give you protein. You know what I'm saying? So with ChatGPT now, it's getting real easy because I can just ask a question and get it figured out versus having to do research.
ChatGPT.
I love it, but it's still controlled.
Controlled in what sense?
The government has it monetized to where you're not going to be, you're going to be able to ask it questions, valuable questions. But if you want to know a lot of truth in the world, like if you ask any questions about Donald Trump, ChatGPT ain't answering that. You know what I'm saying? You ask any questions about certain conspiracy theories or questions about God.
Wow.
ChatGPT ain't answering that.
Wow. So how did you find yourself asking these questions that you just, how did you get on that topic? What made you say, all right, you know what the fuck is up with Donald? ChatGPT, how do you feel about God?
My grandma, man. My grandma she was one of them people who used to just study the Illuminati or watch the videos. She was real deep into it.
The conspiracy joints.
Yeah, so she used to just always sit me down and talk to me about God and tell me the Illuminati is real. Evilness and the devil is real, and she used to always tell me like, have a relationship with God. If you don't do nothing, have a relationship with God. And so that kind of sparked my interest in like figuring out certain stuff.
Yeah.
And then like after she passed away, it's just like, it's just something that I think about every day to just find truth in every situation.
Again, man, sorry about your loss.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a beautiful situation because my grandma lived a beautiful life, and she had a natural death.
Okay.
So it wasn't like she got killed or was harmed or was murdered. I was there with her. She died in my arms. I was able to make sure she got to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? She had a good funeral. She had a good impact on people. Her last wishes for me was to have a relationship with God.
She must have, of course, had a strong relationship with him.
Yeah.
Bond out this world. She left peacefully in comfort, knowing that she was, at peace with her life and where it took her.
But I mean, if I'm gonna be 100% transparent, and I never said this before in front of anybody, but with me understanding some of the truth in the Bible now, like far as keeping God's laws and commandments on an everyday basis. When I think back to my grandma was deep into Christianity.
Yeah.
And so, I know the Bible say he'll have mercy on who he please, but I don't really know if my grandma ever got introduced to a lot of the truth in the Bible. So I can't even really say if she made it to heaven or hell because God still got to do that part when he get there. But I know that her soul is at rest, and I know that she had pure intentions, and she was genuinely seeking a relationship with God. Whether she ever found the truth or not, she was always trying to knock at the door, is what I can say.
I like that. I love that you said that. You had spoke about Illuminati. What do you get from that? And I'm gonna share with you what I think after you tell me. How you feel about Illuminati? Do you think it's real, and what do you think it is?
I think the Illuminati is. I really think they don't matter at this point.
You think it's real?
I think it's real.
For sure.
But I think people give them too much power.
What do you feel the Illuminati is?
I feel like the Illuminati is simply the seeds of Satan. They come from Esau. You know, and so
you believe it's people.
Yeah, those are Esau's children. Those are his kids, his sons and daughters.
So you believe it's a group of people that conduct themselves as a group, and they do what?
They apply knowledge that the rest of the world doesn't know about.
Me personally, I like that you say that. Me personally, I feel like the Illuminati is it's a way of thinking, if it makes sense. You know how they like to say he sacrificed
his family.
Yeah, he sacrificed his family. They messing with kids and they eating kids and you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's not people that's out here that's not eating kids and stuff like that. I feel like the Illuminati, in the sense of, you know, sacrificing people and the sins that they saying these people are doing, I feel like it's a mindset and actions behind it. Like, not saying I'm going to take you to a group of people and kill you and then get rich after. It's more or less me saying, all right, I'm not going to sacrifice you and take you to go get killed, but you're not going to come with me on my journey. You'll be the person that get left behind. I'm not going to teach you the things you need to know for you to succeed.
Well, the Illuminati is, from what I learned from researching them back when I was, is that they're the enlightened ones, right? And so to be enlightened or to know knowledge is basically to know secrets, because a lot of people can know or have knowledge, but that's never the power. It's actually the people who know the knowledge and then they know the work on how to apply the knowledge is the people who actually hold the power.
100%.
And so you know,
100%.
I feel like the Illuminati, you know, they doing what God put them here to do, which is evilness and wickedness, and they doing it in secret. So, you know, people can't pinpoint exactly who it is or what they think it is. That's why it's a conspiracy.
For sure.
So I feel like, you know, I stopped
That's
focusing.
a great way to do that. Excuse me, but it's the way to actually do crime. You know what I'm saying? If you do crime and you get caught, you did it wrong. Would you agree? You know, the most...
Actually, I disagree. Because when I started like building my relationship with God, you don't get away with nothing.
100%.
Just because you don't get caught by men don't mean you ain't gonna get caught when you go see God. You know? And so, you know, like, people know like God is watching, but they forget.
I don't think they forget. I think they just don't care.
No, they literally forget. And it's that too. Some of them don't care, but some of them don't believe.
It ain't no forgetting, brother. If you got fear, once you introduce, that's like riding a bike. A lot gotta happen for you to forget how to ride that bike.
But see, a lot of people, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So if somebody take your bike away from you, or if you got a bike but your bike is broken and you never ride it,
I'm gonna get a bike and I'm gonna still know how to ride that bike.
And
I might not be as good as I was when I first got the bike. I'm still gonna know how to ride that bike.
You gonna know how to ride it, but that's until you get around somebody who got a bike, or until you get a new one. So what about that time period from when your bike has been broken and you didn't have a bike to ride?
So that's the forgotten part.
That's the forgotten part.
I think that's what they call it. What is the R word when they say that your mind is tainted in the religious world? A reprobate.
Reprobate mind.
Exactly. Because I can't give you that and say that they forgot. It might not be at forefront of your head, but you know.
But the only reason why I say So what got me so deep into my spiritual walk with God was realizing that our history with slavery was in the chapter of Deuteronomy in the Bible. And so once I realized that, it's a group of prophets that I started watching where I was introduced to this information called Israel United in Christ.
Okay.
And so
That's a deep title.
yeah.
That's a real deep title.
And so like these men of God, they basically was enlightening me on the true way to serve God, and more so who we were on a more realistic playing field versus, so like God has laws, the world has laws.
100%.
God has high holy days, the world has holidays. The Bible say, be set apart from the world, for the world is given to the hands of the wicked. So which world are you living in? Are you living in God's laws and high holy days, or are you living in the world laws with the world holidays? But the word also say to obey the laws of the land. But if the laws of the land contradict or get you to stop keeping God's laws and commandments, you're literally supposed to die for it. And that's what the prophets in the Bible did.
I got a question. How you feel about the Bible, and then how you feel about the Quran?
The Quran is parables from the Bible.
Parables. Elaborate.
They simply get their teachings from the Bible.
Okay. When I read the Bible, I felt like the Bible was me talking to you, right? But me using analogies, comparisons. You get what I'm saying? So somebody was living for sure, but instead of using pretty much a rap song, instead of using direct words and telling you exactly what's happening, I'm telling you the best way I can explain it for you to understand it.
But the Bible is almost kind of like rap songs in the essence, because God, some things are plain and some things are in parables. So even in a rap song, if a rapper make a rap song and we listen to it, the public, we can listen to it and analyze it and say what we think it means. But then
100%.
when they do an interview, they gonna be like, oh no, this is what this song actually meant from based off how I wrote it in my heart.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody's always going to interpret it the way they want to interpret it. That's why the Bible say, lean not to your own understanding. But the Bible tells you how to read the Bible. The Bible says you're supposed to read the word line upon line, here a little, there a little. Meaning that you're supposed to use precepts. So it's scriptures.
Precepts, elaborate.
So precepts are scriptures that confirm the first scripture that you're reading.
Okay.
So it's multiple precepts in the Bible, in different chapters of the Bible, that will confirm one scripture that you're reading to give you the overall understanding of it. But preachers don't teach the Bible like that. They read one scripture and then they tell you what God told them when God ain't even told them nothing.
Or trying to break down these words that we see in the dictionary.
So they give you spiritual motivation but no spiritual wisdom. And that motivation leaves at the end of the week when you got to go back to work.
Or when you don't have that money to put in the plate.
Exactly.
Because now you judge. Half of the message is me helping you read these words that you see in the dictionary, and the other half is hoping that you have the money to support this and keep it
because it's a business. So
100%.
Even when you look at the church, when people go to theology school to be able to open a church and become a pastor, these institutions were created by the people who enslaved us during slavery, who taught us what Christianity is, because Christianity is found nowhere in the Bible.
Yeah, and then that's another thing, like you had just said, the concepts, the precepts. This is just what they telling us. You get what I'm saying?
But you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. What do we really know?
You only know what you have been taught.
How do I know what they teaching me is the truth, brother?
Because the word says the truth will set you free.
And that's where, and what is freedom to you?
Freedom is knowing of self and understanding what your responsibility here is on earth with serving God. Because this isn't our resting place. So like a lot of people,
This the workplace. This the field. We in the field right now.
This your training day.
Right.
Until your last breath. But see, like, people gotta understand that we supposed to be living to get to heaven. A lot of people say they believe in God, but they living like they want to go to hell. You know.
What if we die and they tell us that this was heaven the whole time? We just was using it wrong.
I would say then that's because your level of understanding in the Bible, because the Bible is the book from the beginning to the end. And so, you know, that's why it's important that the word say be continually with a godly man. So somebody who actually have the results and the value that you're looking for in your life, you can see the Bible say prove a man, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you take time to see if this man is worthy of being learned from, or even in a relationship with a female.
100%.
So then also it say you will know a man based off his fruits that he bear. So you'll be able to see, okay, this brother is married. Okay, you'll be able to see this man, he prayed. You'll be able to see every Saturday he keeping the Sabbath holy. You will see, okay, this man actually reading his Bible, you know what I'm saying, more than 4 chapters a day. 4 chapters is just the minimum. You know what I'm saying? So like based off his actions, how we always say actions speak louder than words.
100%.
You'll be able to see the fruit from his actions based off he got a wife that love and respect him. His 100%. Kids are in obedience. 100%. You know what I'm saying? The men that he congregate around are godly men. You know what I'm saying? He not in a strip club. You know what I'm saying? How he love himself. He love other people even higher. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's also understanding that, you know, it's one thing to believe in yourself, but it hit totally different when you believe in yourself and you believe in God.
Because God is self.
Right.
When you in that, when you living and you walk in that walk.
Right. And so like people look at it like trying to serve God is too hard because it's hard to be perfect. But that's only in the eyes of the world. The world definition of perfect is never making a mistake. God's definition of perfect is simply living righteous and having the faith of a mustard seed. But he say a righteous man will fall 7 times but will rise again. And so that rising again with that faith of a mustard seed is really all you need to keep your fight. So that don't mean abuse your grace or just keep sinning
100%,
willfully.
100%.
Because to know good and to do evil is a sin as well. So, you know, it's like you get to the point to where you just like what Christianity has done is they haven't taught our people the laws and the commandments of God for their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So we know of God, but we don't know how to apply the things in the book to our life. And that's the disconnection that people have.
Okay.
And so now
that's a lot too. That's a lot, because if you really talk to people in the real world, that's where a lot of people go wrong.
Because even God,
that's where they confused.
Because even God say in the Bible, he said, you honor me with your lips, but your heart is far from me. The 100%. Things that flow from your heart flow from your mind. The things that flow from your mind create your actions. So if your heart posture is not right, that means your mind not right. If your mind not right, that means you will never be able to produce the things that come out of your mind. Everything that's created, all these lights, the camera, the phone, all of this stuff was created from the mind. The mind. That came from your heart. Something that you believed in, that you thought you could make it possible. So your heart and your mind in the Bible is one and the same.
100%.
And the Bible say the heart of man is wicked. But he also say lean not to your own understanding. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of people not gonna want to be 100%. Like I had to tell myself, like, Caleb, you wicked as hell.
100%.
You need to go get around some people who actually serving God, and you need to humble down and understand that you don't know shit, even though you're 24 years old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you think you done grew up in church and you know certain things right or wrong. Yeah. You don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it was based off the evidence of how my life was going.
Yeah. So looking at your life and seeing the way it was going, right? Obviously, you did have to get right with God, and that's what changed your direction. What was your final straw? What was the piece of the hay that broke the camel back?
When I lost my sanity.
Lost your sanity. Like, elaborate on that. Like, you say that a lot, bro, but what was that feeling like? What was that moment like when you realized, like, I'm really gone? Like, I lost my shit.
So I'll never forget. I was in Texas with my brother Kavan, and I was doing the Forex business. We was going out there.
Doing the seminars, networking.
So we were just traveling, you know what I'm saying, doing the entrepreneurial. Money. But I was always doing Zoom calls and was using God, talking about God with money and correlating him to having a good life. That's what he want for you, and why would he put us here if he didn't want us to have a good life?
Yeah.
And I felt like I was blaspheming his name, and he humbled me. And also I was a walking contradiction because I was smoking weed back then, I was drinking back then, I was doing everything. I was doing shrooms, drinking lean, I was popping perks, you know what I'm saying? I was drinking liquor, I was doing anything trying to feel the feeling from, you know, trying to take me away from how I actually felt in real life.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I smoked some bad weed and I got laced. And so that kind of, I was already depressed and had like built up stuff that was going on from my grandma dying in my arms to losing my family, losing a girl that I thought I wanted to marry, and losing my family. You know what I'm saying? Watching her move on and, you know, have more kids, and then realizing that I couldn't get my family back. You know what I'm saying? Or just you know, then I'm still financially as a man struggling. I'm not really happy. My dad been locked up since I was 14. My mom moved on and got married. My brother's starting a family. My sister is engaged. And then it's just me.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, you know, I'm coming around on holidays. I'm seeing everybody with their kids, and everybody that's supposed to be my family that knows what's going on asking me the obvious, like, where your daughter at?
Yeah.
And for me, it's kind of just like, if you was here, you would know. And so I kind of was like I was upset about just a lot of stuff that I couldn't control, but I could control some of it, you know? And so,
I get that.
Like when I had, when we was in Texas, I had smoked some bad weed. I started hallucinating, and that was the beginning of me losing my sanity. But one thing about it was, I was always quoting scriptures, is what they was telling me. I was always quoting scriptures. And I was more so coming off as like an extremist. I kept on having like gospel music on repeat and repeat and repeat. And you know, like I was just like, I was scaring people. Like people didn't know what was going on. And when I look back on it, like I really feel like I was like, God showed me from a spiritual lens, even though, because I was kind of in of it and out of it. But I just remember just like hallucinating, fighting demons. I remember when I actually came back home and I would feel spirits or demons in my house or in my area outside, and I would leave my house.
You was feeling a presence?
Yeah.
A negative presence.
Energy.
Right. Describe that energy. Like, what was that feeling like, though? If you could put it in words, the best way you can.
It was like it was real intense and just like fearful.
Yeah. Just scared and not knowing what you're scared of.
And I didn't even know. I never seen a demon. I never, you know, but it was just the energy that would come, and I could be anywhere. And when I feel it, I immediately would try to leave. I remember I had left one time. I had left my house. I felt like, you know, I didn't feel safe at home. I'm looking out the windows trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, bro, I gotta get up out of here. So I literally done on some Dora the Explorer type, you know what I'm saying? I done packed up my backpack, got my notebook. I done put a couple snacks, a drink in my bag, a notebook.
Right.
And I walked around the corner to my brother Marquis' house. But I'm not in my right mind.
Yeah.
Because even though I feel this impulsive need to leave, I'm not noticing that it's 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I know it's dark outside. So I'm walking. I walk to his house. He stayed about like 10 minutes, 5 minutes from me. And when I get there, nobody there but his little sister, and I'm ringing the doorbell. And you know, that kind of almost messed up my relationship with his family, because you know, his sister there alone, it's 2, 3 in the morning. I'm wigging out and I'm ringing the doorbell trying to go somewhere that I naturally feel safe at. But they couldn't understand why I was feeling the need to come there at 2, 3 in the morning and nobody is home but their daughter. You know, and so then
I understand, but at the same time I understand you, so I'm just, excuse me, but damn.
Yeah.
It was serious. Serious as fuck.
Yeah. And so, you know, it was just...
That was the losing your sanity. These moments, and damn.
Yeah, so, you know, then there was another time where...
That feeling was crazy. I know it was.
Yeah, so it was another time I had left my house and I was walking up to Mumford. And on my way to Mumford...
Nigga, you in the hood doing this shit?
I'm in the hood. Like I grew up over here. I ain't with like this my
I ain't-
playground
I
for
ain't-
real.
I ain't
You know what I'm
judging you,
saying?
but I'm just saying,
No, I'm just saying like I'm
God,
comfortable like that. Like
facts,
I walk the
I'm
baits. I
vibing,
walk
nigga.
to you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like really, I'm gonna be real. Like I grew up. My grandma used to stay on Tyler and 12th Street. So all the way from the west side of Davidson and Linwood, all the way to 6 Mile and Myers, I done been in that area my whole life. I don't even come to the east side or no suburb unless my mama them picked us up and we moved. But we always would come back to the city. So like,
And that's where you comfortable at. That's where all your people at. That's where you hanging at.
and in the summer we was outside. We was hooping.
Facts.
We playing curveball.
Yeah,
We playing
yeah.
manhunt. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? We outside for real. Like from
Yeah.
9 in the morning to 9:30 at night.
Type shit.
So like I was just comfortable. I
Right.
always knew that area. You know,
Damn.
but so I walk up to Munford and I go inside the high school and I'm like, let me talk to the principal. And they like, why you want to talk to the principal? And I don't even know why I was saying this stuff, but I'm like, I just remember being like, y'all trying to take slavery out of the curriculum. Y'all ain't trying to teach the black history no more.
Man.
And they wouldn't let me talk to the principal. So I end up leaving.
You was
out
a
the school.
student at this time? No, you just went up there because you got this shit on your head. Damn.
But on my way up to Munford,
yeah,
you know, I was so deep into reading my Bible and stuff.
yeah.
Like the Bible say that a man is to have a beard.
Yeah.
And he say a man is to let his hair grow.
100%.
Like you're not supposed to shave off and have a bald head. That's like
Right.
more like the Israelites
Yeah.
was the slaves in Egypt. So the Egyptian customs was to wear makeup and to, you know what I'm saying, like have a clean face, have a clean bald
Yeah.
head.
Wow.
So I'm walking up to like our people, and I'm telling them like, you know what I'm saying, grown men. And I'm like,
with a bald head.
I'm like, why you got that bald head and you ain't got no beard? I'm like, do you know you a man of God?
Man.
And I'm talking to people like this, and they
Yeah.
looking at me like, what is this? Like, what's wrong with him?
This young nigga tripping.
Like he tripping, and I was. Cause I was putting I'm in Detroit walking up to people saying stuff that like people is really crazy just as much as I'm feeling like I got something to say. People was really like that too.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I end up keep going. I probably get to like Griggs right next to Munford.
Dog.
And it was probably about like 4 or 5 young boys. And as I'm walking up, I don't even remember how the whole situation happened. I just remember this dude being like, he said something, and I was like, who is you? And he was like, I'm Boom. And I was like, what? I was like, nigga, let me see you go boom. And so now, so after that, him and like 4 other dudes like surround me or whatever. So I'm walking with my backpack on. So we start fighting or whatever. I get like one hit in. Somebody threw a punch, missed. I dodged it.
Yeah.
And so when I dodged it, I naturally went down. So I picked him up and slammed him. As soon as I slammed him, the other 3 just started stumping me or whatever. But we was like at a school, like right on the side of Munford. So everybody was like honking the horns or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Regular Detroit shit. Y'all stop that.
Yeah. So my peoples stay down on Griggs, what they used to.
Yeah.
So my peoples end up coming out or whatever. They was long gone. I was straight. I was a little scraped up. You know what I'm saying? I was straight though. You know what I'm saying? But I just remember situations like that and just being like, dang, like I was out of line.
Yeah.
Like I was out of line. And so,
Man.
you know, like even more than that, like even just being suicidal, like it was times where I was just like, I remember I was taking perks.
Yeah.
And I had took a perk and threw it up, took another perk, threw it up, took another perk, threw it up. And I'm like, damn, why I keep throwing these bitches up? I'm trying to get high.
Facts.
I'm mad on some shit like I'm wasting my money.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
damn, it's so amazing how God worked, because months later, the same person who I was going around in the hood to buy the perks from ended up getting raided. You know what I'm saying? And so it come to find out that all of the perks he was selling was fentanyl.
You was in that bitch ODing damn near.
You know what I'm saying? But not even ODing, because they never went into, they was in my system, but God kept me
rejecting
them up. I was rejecting them.
Damn, your
and
body
I was
wasn't
trying to,
going.
and I'm trying to take 3-4 at a time.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
That's God and nothing but God. You taking 4.
And I'm thinking, hey, perks, whole time this is Fetty Wops. Then it was like another situation where I remember just like I was on Myers, and I literally walked in front of a bus and just looked the driver in the eyes as he was driving and just stood right there in his way. like not trying to move, and he stopped the bus like, "Is you crazy? What's wrong with you?"
Man.
And then I got out his way, seen another car coming, stepped right in front of that car.
Yeah.
And none of the cars hit me, but I just remember just testing certain stuff. And even like back when I had my car, I remember just closing my eyes and flooring it and driving past yield signs.
Man, just
you know what I'm saying. And I actually had I had gotten a few accidents. Like I had did that twice. You know what I'm saying. And it was one of them situations to where like I guess they didn't have insurance, so they didn't never call the police or make nothing of it. So some Detroit shit, they're like shit. We, you know what I'm saying? Like they mad, like
good.
Nigga,
don't worry about
like
it.
you on some bullshit, but they're like, you know what? We ain't gotta call the police though, nigga. Like so it was one of those situations.
Bullshit
so
though, for real.
even that was God in itself, cause you know what I'm saying.
What?
That's like it's like what did you own?
What?
You know?
You should have played the lottery that day.
And so like
that's blessed.
Yeah. So I just be looking at like times like those and just be like, dang, like like I literally was going on my way trying to take my own life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like God wouldn't never let it happen.
Sure.
And so then that was like my breaking point after that. And then I just remember thinking about my daughter.
Yeah. And
I realized my mama had told me that she ended up getting cancer in her throat, but she never told me. She ended up just going to the hospital, and she had to get surgery to get it removed.
Yeah.
And then I found out.
Yeah.
And so when she told me that,
she got the surgery. You like, why did you get this? What's going on? Then she told you after.
Yeah. So after it got removed, she told us what was going on while she was in the hospital. And so it was that situation. It was like a cumulative thing. So it was like when my grandma passed away, I had made promises to her that I was going to take care of the family. And then my mama had cancer in her throat. And then I always wanted a relationship with my daughter. So like those was the main three things that's like intertwined. That was like once I realized all of that, once I actually sat down and thought about those three things, I was like, damn, like I can't. Like I ain't ready to go. Like I thought I was ready to go.
Facts.
Until I actually thought about somebody that I cared about.
Right. Like when we said earlier, like you thought this was the life you wanted. You got close to it, and you was like, "This ain't it." Man, that's powerful. Bro.
And so then it was that. Then the last thing I thought about was my dad. So my dad got locked up when I was 14. He had 3 strikes before he had went in. So he had got no parole before he filed a life. And so I always think like, at first I was doing research and stuff, trying to figure out like understanding law so I can try to like help him figure out certain stuff with his case to do an appeal or so he could, get back in front of a judge and try to get, get up out of there or, get the sentence reduced or something. And so, that was another thing that had kept me going. And then, I just remember, it was just like I had. Then the last thing that was like really that did it for me was coming across the prophets on IUIC on YouTube. Okay. Like these things had happened previously, me thinking about them, but then once I actually seen that God was real. Yeah. And that He was showing somebody was actually using the Bible and showing me prophecies that God had people prophesy that was gonna come to pass that I know actually happened from history outside of the Bible. For sure. I was like, oh, I ain't never heard the Bible be taught like this. Yeah. And it piqued my interest. And so then once they started talking about like, oh yeah, Moses he prophesied that the iron and the yoke wouldn't be destroyed off our necks until we were destroyed as a people. And then they started breaking it down like what that meant. And it was like, we was destroyed as a nation. We would destroy our natural tongue. Like we spoke Hebrew before we came over here as slaves, but the Bible was originally written in Hebrew. That's crazy. And so even when you think about it till today, a lot of people don't like to associate themselves as being a slave, but we are really still slaves. They never took us back to our homeland. You know what I'm saying? They never gave us reparations or put the people in jail who killed our people. You know what I'm saying? We never had anything justified for the things that was done to us to this day. And even in the Constitution, we still deemed as 3/4 of a man. Yeah. And so, like, just because it went from having no options to having 30, 40, or 200 options,
Yeah.
The options are already selected for you, the same way they do with democracy and being a
100%.
Republican. You know what I'm saying? So everything is already chosen there for you. So now they took off the physical leash and they put on a mental leash, or like a wireless collar around your mind, around your neck,
Yeah.
to where it's like, okay, you got the whole United States to roam, but you go anywhere outside this border, or you start speaking too much truth, or you start shedding too much light, we gonna cancel you.
Facts. And we got ways of doing that.
And so when you think about the people, how can we trust the people that enslaved us to teach us the truth about the Bible, who created Christianity? And so when I realized that every religion was man-made with a timestamp,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang, that's what the Bible means when they say, let the word be the truth and every man be a liar. So now, I don't subscribe to any religion.
Okay.
I believe in God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and I believe in that Bible, the whole book.
For sure.
So from my understanding, what my mentors have been teaching me is that the only thing that's done away with in the Old Testament is the law of sacrifice, because Jesus sacrificed his life. He was the living example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we would sacrifice animals for the atonement of our sins.
Mm-hmm.
And so God seen people was doing a gesture just to get, justified for their sins, but they wasn't being changed in their heart to stop committing those same actions.
Yeah.
So now that's the whole thing where grace come in at for the bloodline of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah.
And so, so Jesus sacrificed his life. So now you give your life as a living sacrifice, meaning that you have until the day that you die to get it right with God. So no matter how much you sin or how much you get it wrong for the children of Israel,
yeah,
you still have a chance at repentance,
yeah,
to get your life together. But if nobody ever teach you the laws and the high holy days of God, that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Sin is the transgression against the law.
For sure.
So if you don't know the laws of God, how can you ever repent and say you have a relationship with him? He said, he who know me keeps my commandments.
Exactly.
He said, he who know me and keep not my commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
Mm-hmm.
And even for these preachers that's preaching the word of God, he said that the laws are supposed to be at the lips of the priest. So before you teach anything or talk anything about God,
you need to have
the fundamental is understanding what is sin, mm-hmm. what are the laws of God, what are the high holy days that you're supposed
mm-hmm.
to keep, the commandments of God. And then you get into everything else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so these pastors, I feel bad for them, because
they what's going on,
because the Bible tell you what God finna do with them.
Right. And then when you think about it though, a lot of this stuff makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense to why you're supposed to have a following, a set church home,
But like we were saying earlier, it's not even church. Church was never a place.
Yeah.
Church is the people of God.
Exactly.
So
but you need to have your set church. You need to have your set group of people, your set group of leaders, the people that teach. And then when they teach,
what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? The system, not the actual
place. I get what you're saying.
You suppose, and then it's a place where you do call home.
You're speaking about
with
leadership,
these people,
spiritual leadership.
And with the people that are these leaders, they're supposed to go through with the things that you're saying, but it's supposed to be set in stone already that the people that are in this church with me, that's in this following, we had these things established. When you go home, mom is going to tell you, these are the laws, these are the holy days. And then when you do come together and have church, this is established already, and it's a well-working system because it's sufficient. You get what I'm saying?
IUIC, they don't call it church, so they call it school or class. So they're a non-profit Bible organization. So they don't ask.
That.
They don't ask for offering or tithes. You know what I'm saying? They teach against that. They only teach verbatim the scripture, and they use scripture to confirm scripture.
Exactly.
And then they show you prophecies that happen in the Bible, and then they show you through history how they came to pass. And then they'll show you prophecies in Revelation, and then they'll basically be telling us, okay, this is where we at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, for me, this is how it started. They took me back and told me what happened and then they told me why it happened, where we are, why we are where we are, and then what I need to do to get to where I'm trying to go, based on the history that has already happened.
Exactly.
So in a nutshell,
in churches, y'all coming together and praising together, being thankful together, being righteous together.
It's a seminar. It's a motivational seminar. You come in there for a concert and some motivation to get them some money.
Exactly.
But they're never going to teach you how to save your soul to get to heaven and what to instill into your children, so when you die you can build them up in a way that which they shall go, so they won't depart. That's the scripture. They don't do that, and so it's out of order. But the church is in alignment with the government systematically.
Yeah, the system ain't right.
Like even with
but it's their system. That's why it's corrupt.
And so like the way that, and so what made it so easy for me to gravitate towards these people was that it don't matter about what they say. They reading out the book of God. Yeah. And so this is God's words, literally.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so once I realized, like, dang, they reading this scripture, you know what I'm saying? And the truth makes so much sense that it wasn't hard, because the stuff that I was learning in Christianity, 100%. It was easy for me to be like, okay, now this is the next level of understanding that I needed to understand what that actually meant. So then once I started realizing how the government deemed them as a hate group, I'm like, how can somebody that talk about God be a hate group? But this the same government that say they adopt Christianity, but it's cool to be gay. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
It's cool to have same-sex marriage.
Come on, man.
It's cool to be a man and be like, I want to be a woman.
Come on, man.
Like everything God is saying don't do, they telling you to do.
Contradicting themselves.
So how can you say you of God when God say I hate the lukewarm?
Come on, man.
God rather you be a stone cold sinner than be halfway in or be all the way about God. And so like these are the things that people need to actually look at the government and be like, even when you look into other countries. Now I'm not saying that they know better, but they treat their people way better. Like even when it comes to the snacks, there's a certain amount of sugar, certain chemicals you can't put that they won't put in the market, certain foods they won't let you eat. Like here, everything is designed to destroy us, really 100%. Our people. And so when you look from the prisons, when you look at the people who got diseases and sickness, 100%. When you look at the people that commit suicide, when you look at the people who are at the bottom of society, all of the things that the laws are set in place to install justice affect our people at the highest rates. Black 100%. People, the 12 tribes of Israel are in the most prisons. The 12 tribes of Israel are the people who die from cancer, diabetes, and sickness the most. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you really start being aware to this information, it's gonna really change your whole perspective on how you trust the government. And this is what made my process when I was losing my sanity hard to go through with taking the medicine, because I was always researching. So I'm looking up the FDIA, I'm looking up cancer, I'm reading about Dr. Sebi, seeing how he hearing cancer and diabetes, sickle cell, and they trying to kill him, putting him in prison, making his life hard. Nobody is helping this man. Nobody is elevating him, giving him a platform. You know what I'm saying? No, he ain't getting no Nobel Peace Prize. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, they deemed him as somebody who was a threat. 100%. And it's like, and it's like y'all talking about because he messing up the money. Because why would they cure cancer for everybody when they can make money off of it for the rest of your life? 100%. So for me, it got to a point to where it was like, dang, like they telling me to take this medicine that's gonna give me side effects, but it's supposed to help me. Yeah. Then as I'm reading in the Bible, God say, I gave every fruit and herb on the earth to cure you from any disease and sickness. 100%. And I'm telling my mama, and this almost messed up our relationship. If she wouldn't agree with me, I probably wouldn't even got right for real. I probably would still be running around here manic because I wasn't going. I don't care how lost they thought I was. I wasn't that lost.
I ain't crazy.
And so I'm telling my mama, like, I want to find holistic ways to heal myself, because they telling me I'm gonna have a twitch. You know what I'm saying? They saying like the side effects that I'm gonna have. I might have a blinking problem. I might have anxiety. They're telling me all these symptoms can come if I take this medicine. And I'm like, I want to find holistic, healthy ways from the earth to heal myself. I'm like, will you help me? Will you help me find them? And by the grace of God, she told me she would.
That's love.
And so I agreed to take the medicine, but I wasn't finna take 10, 15 different pill bottles in the 100%. Morning, in the afternoon, and at night. So they ended up giving me a shot that I took once a month that regulated my mental. So I had a mental I had a chemical imbalance in my brain.
100%.
And so that shot would keep me balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took that shot for about like a year, 2 years. And then
You used it to get your mind together for you to be able to heal yourself properly. You used it as a crutch.
just enough. And as
Just
soon as
enough.
as soon as I got back right and I was self-efficient. Now this whole time I was going through all of this, I always had my own apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always had my own.
You
know what I'm
always
saying?
been your own man.
Right.
Independent.
So now when
Still managing these issues, you cold. You cold.
but I was so close to losing it.
Yeah, facts. Of
But
course.
I always had it.
Yeah, facts.
So that was another thing. And when I came back, I'm like, God, so good. I
Man.
used to hate being alone.
Man.
And then as soon as I came back from I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, I love it. I get to
Like,
just
I'm
close
lit.
my door.
I'm lit.
You know what I'm
Life
saying?
is lit. Being a black man with your own shit, bro, is crazy.
Yeah.
It's literally crazy.
Yeah. And so then I found peace with just having my own routine. I started
Yes.
working out. I started I don't really like reading. So
You do the audio books.
so I gotta get creative. So what I do is when I read my Bible, I play the audio of the scriptures that I'm reading as I'm reading.
Okay.
So I'm listening to it as I'm reading it.
Yeah.
And then like another thing that I do, like
That's pretty sweet though. You ain't really gotta be head on looking at the words
I'm
but
following
you
along.
still following it. Yeah.
Because, like, when I
You're
read-
teaching yourself.
So like when I read, I like to underline, I like to highlight. Sometimes I got to circle. Sometimes I might like circle something, draw a line, and then I might put a precept of a chapter based on like how my leader's been teaching me to start incorporating precepts to know how to decrypt the Bible, how to actually read it.
100%. Like how I was asking you with the analogies and that's fire.
So then
right there with
another thing that I would do is I would go on YouTube or I would go on IUIC TV and I would start watching, like, they got biblical movies and stories about the books in the Bible.
Yeah.
So like I would watch those.
And scriptures, of course, too.
Yeah.
That break it down and give you a better look at it too.
Yeah, so I
That's
would watch
fire.
the visuals, but before I actually started coming into IUIC,
Yeah.
I would just watch like the biblical stories on YouTube. And so like I used to watch Passion of the Christ. I used to
Man.
watch the
I
story
couldn't
about
watch
Joseph.
Passion, bro.
That's my favorite movie.
I ain't gonna lie. I gotta watch it as an adult, but as a kid, tore me up, bro.
And you know what's even crazier about that?
Let's hear it.
All the people that's in that movie that is white, as far as the 12 disciples and
Yeah.
Jesus, is actually supposed to be black people. And so even people that's in Christianity that say, oh, I know God is black, you serving the white God, no matter what you think.
Mm.
It ain't about what you say. It's about what you do with your actions.
Yeah, what you doing?
And that white Jesus, the first sin in the Bible is, have no idols before me, for I am a jealous God.
And you got the white one.
And you got the white one. But and black people are the only people, if you ask them what color is God,
He white.
they say he white or they say color don't matter.
Yeah. Wow.
But how color don't matter? The whole truth matter. If God say my people will perish for a lack of knowledge, the
Ooh.
truth will set you free.
Wow.
That means every part of the truth matters. The color matters. The scriptures matter.
But when we figure it out, though, when we figure it, that's why they
And
tell
that's
us
why
they
we
don't
can't
want
figure
us
it
to-
out.
But they don't want us to know, because if you being real with you, not even trying to say nothing other than the truth, but I tell you straight up, bro, you a God. No, you really a God. And then instead of 30 niggas telling you a blood, you a Crip, you a G. If it's 30 of us telling each other you a God, bro, do you know how we would really move throughout the world? Like, no, this your shit. You made this. You did this. Your daddy made this. Your daddy put this together.
But see,
They
now
don't want us to think
Now,
like that.
what if we expounded on that perspective? What if people understood that God and Jesus are black men, and the prophets in the Bible are black men, and that those are our ancestors
Yeah.
instead of fictional or imaginary people that we just read about
If they told us that, do you know what we would do?
from kids?
Yeah, do you know what we would do? We wouldn't be, I want to be a hooper. I'm about to be the next one.
But see, in the Bible it says every man from the tribes of Israel are to be raised up to be prophets.
100%.
So the things that the that the preachers are out here doing.
That's our job.
That's our job. We the only people who know this
We
knowledge.
know for real, but you want to know what I really think about too when it come down to it. Like how I said though, like the analogies in the book though, you know what I'm saying? When you read that stuff and they be talking about the pain that they endured, the battles that they fought, this real life, how they shit be feeling with us on a daily. You know what I'm saying? Those feelings and emotions that they was having, that's really how we feel on a daily.
But see, for me, it's an overall understanding once I understand this, because they took the iron of yoke off our neck when we were destroyed as a people. Literally, we had no identity, we had no
100%.
Culture, we didn't know our history, we didn't know where we came from or remembered our homeland, and we weren't the original people who were in slavery.
100%.
So a lot of our people can't even connect or feel the empathy for the ancestors who actually went through the slavery.
Facts.
So that's why they feel so disconnected.
Facts.
Like, I ain't no slave.
Facts.
When nigga, you is a slave.
Facts.
And even if you ain't a slave in this to America, if you don't feel like that, you supposed to be a servant of God.
But you a slave here if you ain't there.
So if you ain't a slave to God, you a slave to America. So, and even if you don't agree with that, you a slave to yourself.
Yeah, like there it is. I was waiting on you to say it. That's the truth though. So a question though, where you see yourself in the future?
I ain't gonna lie. So I'm not a member yet in IUIC. You gotta come consistently for 6 months and actually like indulge. So like I'm actually about to take like a hiatus from like doing a lot of entrepreneurial work. And I really think I'm about to sacrifice, you know, I think I probably still might do the entrepreneurial skills, but more so like on the influencing, traveling, and like putting myself around so many different environments. I'm finna chill out on that. Because I really feel like it's just time for me to really go all in for God. You know what I'm saying? And like I feel like I'm at the beginning of my knowledge. And so like it kind of angers me sometimes, because I'm realizing that I'm walking into a new walk with God, and I have certain knowledge that I can help people or enlighten them with. It's like having a superpower that you don't know how to use.
100%. You definitely got it.
And I know that it's people that can help enhance my spiritual knowledge to help me still be in tune and relatable on a down to earth standpoint, to where I can just have a conversation with anybody about anything and shed light on the situation.
And really reach your full potential.
And reach my full potential.
Your full potential for sure is what you just did for not only me, but for everybody else that's watching, that will see. Or you a powerful young man for sure. Like for sure. Like you moved me. I ain't even have to tell you that. I know you would. You know that. You feel it. But bro, your heights that you can reach is beyond imaginable, for sure. And then with the knowledge that you already acquired, with the things you were interested in before, I only can imagine how far you're gonna go with just your spiritual being and self, and what you can do for other people because of what you're doing for other people right now.
Yeah, and so like one of the biggest realizations that I had is that no matter what I say to people, it's not gonna be me that wake people up or to get them to start changing their life for God. I might spark the interest or for them to look into it, but you know, I'm understanding that I gotta get out of God's way with people, and I gotta let God work.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me,
like when you was yelling that dog with the bald head, you was tripping.
I was tripping. and so I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Go ahead.
When I was in that mental state,
I
was talking just like how I'm talking now. The only difference was that I was coming off as an extremist.
100%.
And so now that I'm more calm and I can put my words together and sit back, and when somebody talk, I shut up and listen. It comes off as he's intelligent, when really 100%. I've been saying the same shit since I've been locked up in a mental institution.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then also like I realized that you know, a lot of people was gonna think or look at it as, oh, he's a know-it-all, or he feel like he holier than thou, when really like my heart is even more heavy, because I see why my people is hurt, and I see the ignorance or the not knowing and why they so hurt. And so for me, it's understanding that I can't really help anybody until I take the plank out of my own eye. So it's like for me,
leading by example.
So that's why I'm so big on being the light. trying to lead by influence versus leading by force, so people can look at me and see the fruits of my labor versus being, okay, what he speak. So for me, I want what I do to match up with what I say without even having to say it.
Exactly. It's seen in your actions. They know. It ain't no way you did this with luck. He ain't selling drugs. He just anointed. He blessed. I get that 100%, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think you on your way. If you ain't already there yet and just ain't opened your eyes and rolled the window down and realized where you at, bro, I think you there.
Yeah. I'm not there. Well, I'm at the door. I'm at the beginning. But now it's more so because like one thing, like if I'm being 100% transparent, that was hindering me was having that greed, that wanting to, because I seen my brother Marquise, I seen him make $1 million at 22 years old. I seen him making multiple six figures at 20, 21. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm traveling with him doing his business and he making $50,000 a month.
Yeah.
Fresh out of college, dropout.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like my mama, I'm telling my mama like, shit, I'm going wherever he going.
Yeah.
And she like, you a follower, you this or you that. And I'm low key getting smart with my mama, not trying to, but I'm telling her like, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't got $1 million.
I'm like, you ain't got $1 million. He doing better than anybody in our bloodline history. And you way more certified degrees and all this. And I ain't just going in on her like that, but I'm telling her without telling her. And I'm more so just like letting her know, like, it got to a certain point where my mama, she told me like, if you do this business, because she associate this business with me losing my mind.
She think this is why you got to this point, how you got there.
But it wasn't never the business. It wasn't what I was doing. It was how I was doing it with
100%,
the drugs.
100%.
And so that's the disconnection for her.
Strip that's when it was a different you. Now you still saying, like how you just said, I was saying the same stuff when I was in the mental institution. Everything that you saying now is the same stuff you were saying then. You just not, it. Hey, I really think that it'd be a better idea for us to go about Indian. That's what make you cold, though. The learning of this is what dictates the future, and it helps you identify with the past. But like you said in the book, bro, everything is supposed to be done in a moderate fashion.
And that's why I don't like when people say, you need to forget your past. Your past don't dictate your future. Your past do dictate your future.
For sure.
Because if you can't learn from your past, you would never be able to correct your actions to get to where you actually need to go.
100%.
And so, like, in conclusion of everything, our people is paying for the sins of our ancestors, for the sins and the mistakes that they didn't correct. And so God told us in the Bible that he was going to curse the generations to the fourth generation. So, and even with the seed of Esau, which is the Caucasian race, you know what I'm saying? The Bible in Revelation said those who lead into captivity will go into captivity. And in Revelations, it also says that it says when you get to heaven, or when heaven, because we have a prayer that we pray where it say, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So heaven is going to be on earth.
For sure. You
know what I'm saying? So we got to understand when heaven comes on earth and God is sitting on that throne, when we going up to the gates, because it's not one gate.
100%.
It's 12 tribes. In Revelations, it say it's going to be 12 gates with a name of a tribe they're on, with an angel standing at that gate. So if you don't know what tribe you belong to, and you think you finna go into heaven,
you walking into my house,
you might as well just turn around.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're going to be knocking at the wrong door, and he going to be looking at you like, this ain't even the tribe. And every tribe is based off the ethnicical race. So we have blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a color.
Right. So it's a broad. It's 12 different tribes that make up the tribes of Israel, basically. But people got to understand that God only gave his laws and commandments to a specific people in the Bible. He never dealt with the Japanese, the Chinese. You never heard of them being any of his disciples sitting around a round table.
100%.
Even in the white Jesus, you won't see no Japanese people at the table eating bread.
Real life.
You know what I'm saying? So how is he coming to save all people? And people like to say, God is coming to save the world and woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying? That's because they have a lack of understanding on the totality of that scripture, because it's been misinformed to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like You know, why would God come and save, or why would Jesus, if Jesus is the one coming back, let's be clear on this. Jesus is the one coming back to redeem us. So how are you in Christianity and you're saved if Jesus is the one coming to save you? If he hasn't come back to save you, what are you saved from if we still live in this sin and temptation? If we still fighting this every day, you still trying to strive to live righteous every day, what are you saved from? You know what I'm saying? So then it get even deeper, because when he do come back to save us, why would he save the people that killed him? You don't think God is a just God?
I also think he's a forgiving God.
He is a forgiving God, but he's a fair God. He's an honest God. So you got to understand, those who do wrong will be punished.
100%.
So if God punished us, our ancestors, for not keeping his laws and commandments, Lord, and he sent us into slavery for 400 years.
Literally, that's when you say stuff like that. Lord, have mercy.
Right. So if God punished us for not keeping his laws and commandments for 400 years, put us into slavery, and they kept us in slavery longer than what we were supposed to be, and he allowed it to happen, and we his children, the ones who get to repent and go to heaven, you don't think he gonna come get right with them for keeping his children enslaved longer than what they were supposed to be?
As I say again, Lord, have mercy.
But see that, and that's why the scriptures say he'll have mercy on whom he chooses, because there is going to be some Caucasian people that keep the laws of God, follow the laws of God, but you know they're going to come into the kingdom as slaves.
100%.
And that's in the Bible. But you know, at the same time, some of the other nations, they gonna simply just be destroyed, because even you have, because no matter if you, so even if you are, so for people who say like he's coming to save the Jews and the Gentiles, the Jews come from the tribe of Judah. That's the tribe Jesus came from in the Bible, right? So the Gentiles are the Jews that live like Gentiles. And in slavery, our people were scattered all around the world. So God's people is in all different type of countries.
100%.
So those are the Gentiles that he was talking about. He wasn't talking about the original Gentiles. He was talking about the Jews who was transformed into Gentiles who don't remember that they're Jews. Like people here in America who don't know that they're Jews.
Yeah.
But you got white people who call themselves Jewish.
Right.
ISH. Jewish is nowhere in the Bible. That's not a tribe of God. He also said in Revelation, I know the blasphemy of those who call themselves Jews and are not. He said, I know the trials and the tribulations that you're going through.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, our people just got to understand who we really are. And we got to stop looking at each other as that nigga walking down the block or that bitch with the fat ass. And we got to start looking at each other like, this is
squad.
No, even deeper.
Goddess.
This is God's son.
Yeah, God.
This is God's daughter. This is,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? We got to start looking at each other as real relatives, as brothers and sisters through God.
100%.
That's what has to be what connect us as a people, so we can reverse these curses that we're going through. And like, if anybody want to go to Deuteronomy and read that chapter, you will see that God called the people who was going to take us into slavery. He said you're going to be taken by your enemies. So if we God children, and God said he made us in his image, so we are also like God's, and he said, I'm going to let your enemies come take you into slavery. Anybody that's an enemy of us, because we keeping the laws and commandments of God, that mean that God is saying they're an enemy of his. So who are these people that God is calling his enemies that took us into slavery? Because I don't remember. I know it was black people who had slaves and stuff over in Africa, but all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Everybody that's black, it ain't a skin color thing. It's a bloodline thing. So it's gonna be because you are whoever your father is.
For sure.
So it's gonna be people who look white, but their father is black. So you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be from the tribe of Judah. It's gonna be people who look Arabic, who got an Arabic mom, but they got an African American dad.
Yeah, for sure.
So you know what I'm saying? Whoever,
You just gotta have that knowledge of who you are.
exactly.
And who is against you, but that comes with knowing who you are.
Exactly.
I understand that 100%. Man, you
It get
dropped
deep.
some gems, bro.
It get deep.
But in conclusion, what you want to say to the people, bro?
What I want to say to the people is, when you wake up in the morning, don't just open your eyes, open your mind, and you know, it's okay to do anything you want in life. Just do it with God, you know, and don't make where we are right here in this life your end all be all. You know, the believers, we striving to get to heaven, so we don't fear death, and we don't fear nothing that's coming to us on this earth. Whenever it's your time, put yourself in position to keep God's laws and commandments of striving to live righteous at bare minimum, so you can have a fair chance of going into heaven. And you know, whenever you leave this earth, you know that, you know, when you get in front of the King, you'll be able to actually show him your treasures that you was storing up that are in heaven based off your righteousness and not just off your own belief thinking you have a relationship with God, because God might not have a relationship with you, because obedience is better than the sacrifice. So that's what I say to the people.
Man. Y'all heard it here first. Interview with my dog Caleb, my brother, him, the man, the myth, the legend himself, for real. And we'll see y'all back on another episode.
Appreciate it.
I ain't gonna lie, you did your thing, boy.
I appreciate you having me,
You
bro.
did your thing, boy.